Hi, I'm Hannah and welcome to the Paper Pad. If you are new here, I'm happy to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I am making a sort of album for my new Penpal Sela, so I thought that I would cover the first Penpal letter, which can be a bit of a challenge, mainly mentally because your first Penpal letter is introducing yourself, it's representing yourself, and then you don't know anything about the other person, so it can be very hard to navigate, which is why I thought I would make a bit of a tutorial. Now what I'm doing here is I'm making an album about myself with random facts and random things that I like. So this first page is going to be a list of my favorite books because I'm a big reader. There I have a picture that I printed off. I started this project by printing off a bunch of random pictures. I went through my phone and randomly selected what I had. I didn't do anything specifically for this project, which I think gives an even better representation of who I am because it wasn't planned out, it was just what I had on my phone. So I had a pretty picture of my Little Women book and coffee, and that's what I used for this page. The point of this album is to give your pen pal enough about yourself so that you can find common ground and so that it defeats the sort of writer's block that your pen pal might get writing the first reply. So it's kind of a win-win scenario where your job is to make their job easy. That being said, I will cover what I wrote for my first letter and give you a bit of an outline, paragraph by paragraph, just a rough draft of what a good opening pen pal letter would be. That way if you're struggling and you need inspiration, here it is. I do want to mention that you can't really mess up writing a pen pal letter. And so I'm just trying to help give a bit of a rough draft and a bit of inspiration, but you don't have to do everything I say. I did. That's not how this works. I am here to help and be a resource and hopefully help you overcome a bit of a mental block that you might have. This second page is going to be about my garden because I had some pictures of the snapdragon plants that I got at the beginning of this year, which are on the left. And then on the right, I'm just going to leave some blank space so I can talk about the other flowers I have in my garden. Now, along with my hobbies, I also have done a bit of competitive debate and I really enjoyed that, so I thought that I would add that in since I had a picture of myself all dressed up for my last debate. It's very nerdy, but I absolutely love it and it might give us something that we can talk about. I would also like to add that I think this is probably my favorite page in this whole album. I just loved how it turned out. Next, I'm going to talk about my dogs because everyone loves to hear about your pets. I never quite got it, but still here I am talking about my dogs, so I don't know. People like to hear about your pets. I'm making a little pocket that I'm going to put some pictures of my dogs in, that way she can see, and I just talk a little bit about them in the blank space. I took the note card and I put that behind the pocket because I used wet glue, and I probably used too much of it because I knew they would bleed through the pages since they're really thin. So I'm going to reinforce the other page with gluing down a thicker cardstocky paper, but for now I wanted to let it dry with something behind it, that way it didn't glue all the other pages together. I'm going to take this scrap piece of paper that I have and fold it up to make a belly band, which just means I folded the sides in, that way I could glue them, and then it works a bit like a pocket so I can slide in whatever I want. I ended up making this a page about my music taste, and so I had some memes that went alongside the kind of music that I listen to, so I slid those in. That way, hopefully, it brings her a little bit of a laugh. And then on the right, I'm going to do a bit of a collage and write out the different kinds of music that I listen to. Alright, I cut back to the first page because I wanted to do a little bit more work on it and change up a few things. I think I added a stamp, but I have a hard time working on a page at a time and going in a distinct order. Normally I jump around a bunch and I work on different pages randomly, so this is just how the process goes. This next page is going to be about my food taste because I love to bond with people over the kind of food we like. The picture is a sushi bowl because I'm not afraid of sushi. I'm really not a picky eater when it comes to anything. Sorry, I had to laugh at myself for a second. These letters, I just wrote out my favorite foods and some different fonts. I like using, I could use stickers, but they're so hard to actually use practically, so I prefer to just write things out and cut out the letters. I would love to have a typewriter one day and type things out, but for now we're just stuck with my handwriting. Here we are back at the first page in the album because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it whenever I started the project. I later decided that it would just be a random list of my favorite things that aren't necessarily categorized, but might be fun to know. Now I've written out these are a few of my favorite things. this page is my this or that page. If you've never played this or that, it's basically, do you prefer to drink coffee or tea? So it's this or that. And then I circled my preference, and hopefully Sela will respond with her preferences. Here is a semi-final flip through of my album. I ended up doing a few other things to it, and I decorated the past few pages for goodies. That way I could just use this as a flip book. This is going to be the cover page. I added, well, what I did was the red belly band on the left is actually a washi tape, a strip of washi tape that I taped to regular printer paper, and then I cut out along the washi tape line. That way it looks kind of like it's a belly band made out of just washi tape. And I'm writing my mini album on the cover and a little note about basically how it's an introduction to me and my interests, and then I hope she enjoys it. Now it's time for the letter. I normally write my letter last because it gives me time to think through what I want to say, what I want to talk about while I'm working on the mail.